Hello friends and welcome back to the brand new video. So guys, we are now watching a growing credibility fight unfold inside the administration over why the United States first of all launched the strikes on Iran, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio is at the center of it, answering all the questions. Rubio faced a barrage of questions after what appeared to be conflicting explanations between him and the President Trump about the intent and timing of the joint US Israeli attacks. So, guys, on Tuesday, Trump said it was his opinion that Iran was preparing to strike US interests in the region and that he might have effectively forced Israel's hands to move forward with the Saturday's strikes. But that raised the eyebrows because just one day earlier, Rubio told reporters that the US knew Israel was going to take action and made the decision to join from an offensive posture, not a defensive one. Now, Rubio had stated clearly that if the US did not preemptively strike before Iran launched the attacks, American forces would suffer the higher casualties. And that distinction matters, guys. One explanation frames the action as reacting to an imminent Iranian threat. The other frames it as a coordinated preemptive decision alongside Israel. So, guys, when praised on Capitol Hill, Rubio pushed back forcefully. Let me answer because this is my press conference, he said. He said during one tense exchange, insisting that the action had to happen anyway. Now, the White House has rejected the idea that there is any contradiction at all in their statements. But the caution aren't going away, guys. At least six US service members have been killed over the 4 days of military operations. Now, retaliatory strikes have hit the US allies and partners in the region. American embassies and civilian areas, including the hotels, have faced the missile and drone threats. Iran has moved to blockade oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, pushing oil prices upward. And thousands of travelers are now stranded across the Middle East as airspace closures and airport damage disrupt commercial routes. So that's where the scrutiny intensifies. Now, Rubio was asked directly whether there was an evacuation plan in place before the US launched its attack. His response: that's the plan we are trying to carry out, while acknowledging that the airspace closures pose the serious challenging while achieving this. Now, Democrats argue that telling Americans to leave the region after conflict has already escalated, while the commercial options are shut down, is not a strategy. Senator Angus King cautioned whether the US had effectively allowed another country to dictate the timing of war, calling the implication breathtaking. Now, Senator Chris Murphy criticized what he described as a lack of readiness for the aftermath, pointing to embassy notices stating that they could not assist the Americans departing. And meanwhile, the State Department says it is exploring the chartered flights and possible military evacuations. So, guys, the core issue here isn't just the military action itself, it's the clarity of the rationale, the consistency of the explanation, and the preparedness for the war consequences. So, guys, was this an defensive response to an imminent threat, a coordinated preemptive strike, or something in between? Because when the explanations shift even slightly, it fuels the broader concerns about oversight, about constitutional authority, and about planning for what comes next. The administration insists it acted to neutralize a growing threat, while critics argue the alternate suggests insufficient preparation. And as retaliation risks continue and Americans remain in uncertain conditions abroad, the pressure for the clearer answers is only increasing. So we will continue tracking how this evolves, guys, and we'll keep you updating on this. If you want the fact-driven breakdowns without the spin, make sure to subscribe us because this story is far from over. And thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, queries, doubts, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear and respond back. Thank you.